This is CIVITAS. Where will you be for the revolution?
Ladies and gentlemen, all 20 of you, maybe 30 of you, as we continue to grow. Week in, week out is getting bigger and bigger, though. That's all we know. This is episode 6, baby. You've been here for the highs and the lows, for the guests and the no guests like today. But one thing keeps you coming back. These jerseys, fam. No, I'm kidding. But like always, we're going to start off with the drip session. Joel, I see you've assembled an army behind you after the shame last week.
You kind of disrespected me heavy last episode. So I had to pull up. I'm back home, my childhood home, where I have all my jerseys across the years. I even have a box with like other ones that don't fit me up to my belly button. But honestly, I can pull those out because we're on the screen and you don't really see below. But right now, today, as you guys know, all 20 of you, like Arby said, I'm an avid Manchester City fan. Shout out Vincent Kompany. But one of my first ever favorite players ever was a man who played for Liverpool actually back. And his name is Fernando Torres.
Woo!
His name is Fernando Torres for anybody who couldn't see that, who's listening to this on a podcast. Anyway, literally when I was playing striker when I was young, I loved him. He was like my freaking idol before that. And then when he moved to Chelsea, I literally wanted to murder him. I was the most angry kid in the world. But anyway, that's my story. What do you guys rating it? You got even the patches here?
That's a 10. That's clean. It's got the patches. It's got Torres, who at Liverpool, he was an absolute monster. Yeah. Nice little home. The classic red. You can't beat that. That's a 10. Liverpool Adidas was a great partnership.
7.5, bro. 7.5. Torres is an absolute bum for Chelsea. I have bias towards him.
He won you a Champions League.
What?
He won you a Champions League.
Hey, we were up on away goals. My boy Ramirez already had secured the win. He just iced it.
It's funny why people I loved him, but it's funny why people revere that. Like they love that goal so much. They think it's like the most crazy goal he's ever. Like they're already going through.
Iconic for what?
That goal did
because it's the only thing he's ever done for Chelsea fans. Chelsea fans need something to hold on to.
No, you know what he did? He missed an open goal against Man United in a 3-3.
All right.
I remember that.
All right.
Okay, let's bring it back home for us. What you got on, baby? Tell the people.
Today's podcast might be a little contentious with the debates we might have. So I wore this jersey as an homage to Kylian Mbappe, but more importantly, as an offering gift to you, my friend Rocky, because it has your favorite player on the back.
Let's go, baby! It's not
It's a little peace offering before you two get into it later, but
this time, last time it was a sensual kissing session. This time it's gonna be a passionate, aggressive kissing session between the two of us. So get ready for that, people.
My God,
yeah, Faraz and I had some disagreements on how Inter played versus Liverpool, so we're gonna break that down though when we talk about UCL. Betty, how are you enjoying yourself today? Nice little black sweatshirt for the people.
Amazing. I love these jerseys. So Torres action, Ibra. Just two.
What we rating? What we rating for Oz is? I'm giving it a 10, just like the man on the back, baby. That's number 10.
He disrespected me, so I'm gonna give him like a 8.5.
I don't supposed to be objective, fam. Like on the jersey.
I don't love that PSG kit. I just think it's dope that Ibra's on the back because I loved him there. But just in terms of the aesthetic of the kit is like nothing crazy to me.
It's iconic though. Ibra really made that kit.
This was his last season. This was his last season before he went to Man United.
Oh yeah.
All right. And now Rocky Bobby. Let me tell y'all what I got on. I got the United pink. The United pink, a little Adidas 3 stripes on the top. And listen, when I first saw this jersey, I was in love with it. All right. I love pink. Like pink on a jersey's fire. So I was like, all right, I'm grabbing it. But the real reason why I wanted to grab it is because my man Jose Mourinho was at the wheel. I'm like, all right, I'm a part-time United fan. As long as Jose is there, I'm a part-time United fan. So I get this jersey, fam, right? Next week, they sack Mourinho. They sack Mourinho a week after I get this jersey because I love Mourinho.
You manifested it, bro.
Laney on the back also, just for the banter of it. Just because, Mourinho throw him in off the bench, bang a little header action in there. Come on, boy.
I don't believe it.
No, I wanted to. I couldn't. It's blank.
I was gonna say no way.
Looking all over the place for a Fellaini version, I couldn't, but that's what I wanted.
I respect that.
Anyway, so that's what happened. I bought this jersey. A week later, Mourinho sacked. Jersey's still fire. It's probably one of my favorite United jerseys. Just the pink makes it nice little summertime vibe.
Didn't they wear that pink jersey when they knocked out PSG in the Champions League?
They did. Lukaku, little flair of that game.
It was Rashford penalty. That was crazy. I remember that.
No, but Lukaku carried that game. That's the one time he stepped up in a big UCL game.
for United at least, or I mean in general, to be honest. Anyway,
and got the little Kanye hat on today. Check out the documentary Genius on Netflix. That's my guy right there. He's going through some tough times. Kanye West,
he is.
if you're watching this right now, CIVITAS FC, that's the wave, baby. You're a visionary. You're a genius.
Oh my
Come
god!
rock with us, bro. Come rock with us.
Oh my god!
Hey West.
All right.
All right.
I personally am against Kanye in this scenario.
This is not a Kanye. This is not a Kanye.
We can't get into that. All right. Rate the jersey, fam. Rate the jersey.
I gotta give you. I gotta give you at least an 8.75 because not only of the story, but also the fact that it's the connection between that Man United kid and the PSG, and how I have PSG. Everything apparently is coming together.
Yeah, it's working out. If you had Fellaini on the back, I would have given you a 12 out of 10.
Oh man, that would have been next level.
That would have just been amazing. But so I'm gonna give you. I'll give you a little 8 or something.
Benny, what you giving me, bro?
I'll give it 8.4.
All right.
What's up with this 0.4s? Whole numbers, guy, or 0.5s at least. All right, we're gonna break down the requirements for the voting later.
All right. So wait, who won? Did Joel win this one?
I'll give the dub to Joel today.
All right, I think Joel wins it today. That Torres jersey's fire.
You're damn right.
He didn't even play that year. That specific kit, but whatever.
Of course he did.
No, they released that kit, and then he went to Chelsea. Like
yeah,
like literally.
The iconic one is Carlsberg. Anyway, we gotta move on.
Y'all ready to move on? So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I forgot what the next segment is. Where do we go from here?
We're just talking about CIVITAS, bro.
Yeah, we're just updates.
Ben, RB,
No
worries.
worries.
He's rushing back. RB, Ben, pass it on to you. What's going on?
Sure. So this next part, let's just talk a little bit about CIVITAS updates. To start off, if you haven't read the blog from last week, I highly recommend you guys read it. I think it's a great perspective, a great look into, why we're actually doing what we're doing here and what Web3 is all about. And, just to quickly point on that, this idea started when realizing that the way we all interact with the sport, the way we all interact on the internet in general, we're not really getting much from it. We're spending so much time commenting, giving our opinions, posting in groups, joining these communities, but we're not getting anything from it. And what Web3 really allows is the ownership side to that, and you being incentivized to actually be participating in these communities. And so that's exactly what we're doing with CIVITAS FC, is enabling everybody who's a part of this community to be incentivized and to, build with us as we go.
Now, listen, y'all, whenever you're on these Twitter rants and somebody tells you get a job, if you come to CIVITAS FC, that is your job. Your input is valued. So when you go on these Twitter rants, that means something if you're talking about the club, because this will be your club. So you're employed now. Congratulations. If you're a bum, you're now employed.
RB is speaking of his own experience ranting on Twitter about his club. But,
I'd also want to point out that blog is perfect for anybody that doesn't know too much about DAOs and Web3 in general. It is a great entry point. So don't feel like you have to be well read on this yet, because we want you to kind of grow with the system. So if anybody's not too experienced, they love football, but they're not quite sure what the DAO is, what we're talking about, read that. It's going to answer a lot of questions, puts it in really simple terms, makes it really nice and easy to understand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Definitely. And so go check out that blog. But, moving on to some cool stuff we are doing. Everybody should please go check out our FIFA channel in the Discord. We want to better understand what if you're playing on PlayStation, if you're playing on Xbox, so we can get this tournament going. And winners will, of course, be getting not only future tokens, but also actual cash. So definitely go onto the Discord channel, say what console you are on, and we want to get that FIFA tournament going within the next few weeks for sure. And then
put that talk to the test, everybody, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, exactly. Prove your skills.
Yes,
Show
sir.
it. I can't wait to destroy RV. So
yeah, I'm gonna clap this kid, fam.
Looking forward to that. But anyways, besides the FIFA tournament, what else do we have? We have the betting channel as well, where the prediction channel, where Champions League is going on. We're going to be discussing those games in a bit, but yeah, we want to incentivize participation on the Discord. So put your predictions. If you guess, the right predictions, you guess the games that are happening now, then you'll also be incentivized with future tokens. So definitely go check that out as well.
Yeah, I think we should definitely
up
also
to 25, baby.
Yeah, for this one, for the Champions League, you get a token for every correct matchup you predict going into the quarterfinal. We're gonna, prolong that into the next round and the next round after that, and then the total, whoever has the most correct predictions across the entire knockout phase of the Champions League, get an extra 10 tokens. So like Arby said, potentially 25 tokens someone's gonna walk away with. Definitely not gonna be Arby because he predicted Inter going through, but that's a whole other. We're gonna get to that portion of the debate later. Anyway, I think we should definitely include this prediction, kind of incorporate it into other facets of league standings,
Definitely.
relegation standings, stuff like that. So we got a lot of ideas just to get people, interacting and stuff.
For sure. Definitely trying to engage the community as much as possible.
Yeah.
So going to be doing more tournaments, going to be doing more of these predictions, and stay tuned for more ideas, more ways we're gonna get more engagement for sure. Anyways,
the tournament's gonna be fire, fam.
What else do we have going on at CIVITAS? We, just to quickly note for those listening that we are in talks with potentially joining an accelerator. Not going to speak too much on that yet, as we have to discuss internally if it's worth it, but definitely a great option for us. So we'll see how that turns out, but a lot of stuff happening. We're continuing to grow, continuing to build out a strong community. And you guys have anything else you want to mention?
I just want to mention, baby, listen, 6 episodes in, we've already had a media mogul on here. We've already had somebody that works for this conglomerate that owns Sheffield United. It's only up from here. We're growing quickly. We're making these moves, especially behind the scenes too. So just keep your eyes on the Discord and just be ready, and put your voice in there, make yourself be heard, and really take ownership of the club as well.
Definitely. It's an exponential curve, so get on it before we really start rising.
Easiest thing you can do is just literally interact, like send messages, interact with people, introduce yourself, talk footy, and then, as we start getting more and more defined roles and need, help along the way, which we're 100% gonna need, then you'll be ready to kind of jump on those opportunities and really, show your skills, etc. Show your passion for the project, just like we are doing. So yeah, stay tuned.
If you have any questions too, definitely post anything in the Discord. Any of us will be happy to give us an answer for what you're looking for.
Yeah. Post in the Discord, DM us, whatever you guys want. Oh yeah. All right. From there, let's get into the crypto chat, baby.
Franz, what you got cooking?
What you got for us, baby? What you got?
Crypto talk.
When you guys were talking about the predictor and earning future tokens, all I could think of is this story, and it's based around the tokenization of Burnley Football Club. It all starts, though, in December of 2020 when new American owners took over Burnley FC. They bought the club for around £170 million from the previous owners, Mike Garlick and John Beniskowitz, if I pronounced his name right. But
probably didn't.
I'm assuming it's a Polish last name, so I apologize. But anyway, they took over 84% majority of the club, so they have controlling power now. And the owners now are a man called Alan Pace and his investment group, which is a company called ALK Investment. And basically, they're centered around investing into sports and multimedia companies. And he himself actually is investing in scouting AI technology. He has one program called AI Scout that's targeting essentially all of the youth and soccer players within the British Isles. And anybody with a smartphone essentially can sign up for this app and, link to their scouting network and, find.
Wow. Very cool.
Hold on. Can I ask you a question about that?
Go ahead,
How does everybody – so wait. So when you say AI scouting, does that mean that the AI is like looking at the statistics of it? Is it like purely on statistics, or are people still behind it?
I think, any user can basically sign up for their application, and through that, like put in their information, and then they will have like access to a bunch of different networks where they can have, either go to competitions and get scouted or, be involved in different tournaments and become scouted. But that's what it's basically a program for. And it's not just only for the youth. I think it goes up to even the professional levels because now they actually have a football club. But
gotcha. That makes sense.
When they took over Burnley FC, I don't think they had any liquidated cash to pay off the previous shareholders. So what they had to do is get a £60 million loan, part of it, from MSD UK Holdings. Shout out to Michael Dell Technologies, Houston native. That's his investment company within the UK. They took out that loan. He's also that company's known for giving out loans to soccer clubs, specifically Southampton and Derby County. Both took out loans to pay off their dues.
Sounds like a loan shark.
From there, and
where's my money?
And exactly, in order to pay the rest, they had to use the liquidated cash that the club had available. Burnley FC was a well-run club up until this point, had made their money being in the Premier League. They had about 30 to 40 million pounds worth of liquidated cash based on their last financial statements. So they used all of that to pay off the shareholders.
All that Chris Wood money, gone.
Exactly.
To the shareholders.
Exactly. So,
but I feel like Burnley Football Club, just like from a very broad standpoint, is like a pretty well-run team. Like, they don't play fancy football. They don't but they don't overindulge in buying players. I feel like, their salaries are pretty moderate compared to other Premier League clubs. I feel like they manage their wage bills well, like compared to other Premier League teams, even like more around like relegation zone and their level. So, but it's cool that they're kind of trying to, modernize and take on this kind of investment strategy. But anyway, continue what you're saying, Faraz.
Yeah, so you're exactly right though. The reason ALK targeted Burnley was because of how well run they were. They didn't have any sort of debt with the club. They have the facilities, like they had just recently built a new training ground, so they were basically primed for being taken over. And the shareholders eventually probably wanted their money and to get out of this business, so they found this opportunity. They took it over, but they put on debt on the club. And recently, though, they are coming out with a new business strategy to, I don't know whether that's to ingratiate the fans or as a form of capital generation, but what they're trying to do is tokenize the club. And what that means is they are trying to create a security token of Burnley FC. What security tokens are basically digital assets that can be traded through the application of blockchain technologies. You can essentially, security tokens in business in general can be anything to a specific part of the business where you can target and invest in. It's made for retail investors to be part of communities and to invest their own money and be part of a business. And in this case, a football club.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting, kind of the approach and it's kind of, goes back to what we want to do with CIVITAS FC is just kind of give ownership back to the lay person and, give it to a broader audience that's really, invested in the whole club and their values, etc. It really, with these tokens and, tokenizing these assets, it really, allows a lot of people to invest little amounts of money that, will accumulate into a large sum. And so, just opening the door to retail investors like us, for example, to be able to participate in such a large asset at heart. But it's cool what you say about, really specifying on specific, revenue channels of a large asset like this. I mean, can you explain a little more, like exactly?
Yeah. So, there are specific companies that provide these security tokens. And what ALK Capital is doing is they're having a partnership. They signed a letter of intent with a company called INX. This company in 2017, they launched, and they basically create a marketplace where different digital securities and cryptocurrencies can be traded. And they also provide these security tokens. But these security tokens in business in general can target different fractionalized assets, different products that are attached to the revenue stream, or assets that were never traded before. As a form of investment. Not only do they, incentivize more community build, but also they act as an investment for a regular investor. So you get dividends based upon how your investment is performing. In this case, how well the club is performing. If you're a Burnley FC token security token holder, if the club does well and they get more revenue by moving up the table and finishing better or doing well in the FA Cup or providing different marketing deals and getting new sponsors, you will get higher dividends. If you get relegated, though, and you fall into some sort of financial mishap, I think your dividends will come down. So it's a risk based on how well your club performs. But with the application of this, you are more involved as a token holder to, have some sort of financial say on what goes on.
Now, is this just equity, or do they have any decision-making power depending on what part of the business they invest in?
I believe they have decision-making power. They haven't been clear as to what specifically Burnley FC security holders, token holders will be able to do. But I think they have some sort of financial say, because ultimately, I believe, in my opinion, they're doing this to raise capital to pay off some of their debt. Because they have £90 million worth of debt that they mortgaged their future to buy the club initially. And, connecting to that, Manchester United did that in 2013. They're just big. They have so much more money than these guys that they paid it off through bank loans, whereas these guys are finding new different revenue streams in order to pay off that debt. That's my opinion. And maybe
do what you got to do.
Ingratiate the fans, but who knows?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with this, for what ALK is trying to do is specifically kind of for the financial part. So it's just an experiment if they can, start getting more fans involved more and more. But I feel like, their drive with this is the financial aspect. And it's cool to see that now a professional team is trying to implement these security tokens, because if it does work, if it's successful, then we're definitely going to see more and more teams start implementing this. So good for Burnley.
Just paving the way for CIVITAS FC to come in, take over.
We're going to do it better, baby.
Oh, yeah.
My only hesitation, though, is I think if you're a company, or in this case, if you're Burnley, you need to have some sort of recognition of your surroundings and where your club is located. And from my opinion, Burnley is in a more rural area. It's a smaller city within England, not a major big city. Hardworking community. That's where most of those fans are from. You need to educate your fans if you want this to work. If you're a big, metropolitan London, let's say Chelsea, Tottenham, Arsenal, you're going to have a group of supporters that are already in this space and they know what to do. So they'll hop on that.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Are you telling me the farmers of Burnley don't trade?
No. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying the farmers of Burnley. We love Burnley FC. Woot Weghorst is my guy. But I'm just saying.
I don't know, bro. It sounds like you're calling them farmers.
Oh, our Burnley fans about to be like, "That's outrageous,
bro.
Oi, Blimey! They're coming for us!"
All right, now they're gonna come for Harvey. After that.
Fuck, Burnley's gonna cancel me, fam.
No, but it's cool. I don't even think this is, it's not just, limiting just to Burnley fans or Burnley, area, people that live in the Burnley area to kind of investing in this. It sounds like it can really, extend to international borders. A lot of people, like even us four, could invest in Burnley. Then like us four are familiar with the technologies and like what you need to kind of do. And like if this became readily available, like I would for sure do it. Even like if I believe Burnley Football Club will be sustainable in the future, and so I'd have to do that little analysis in my head. But just the fact that I would have some skin in the game already with with a major Premier League team would be really cool. And if they stave off relegation, then maybe they could see CIVITAS investment.
Do you guys think they pulled the trigger on this project though if they get relegated?
No.
Actually,
hold on. Actually, it might be better if they get relegated and then they pull the trigger on it.
Yeah.
Wait till you get relegated, because if you're in the Premier League, then you get relegated and you've already put this in place, it's going to look bad and it's going to cost people money. However, if you're going to go up, it's a different story.
Not only that, but you can just, if you're in the lower league, you can experiment more. It's just for them at that point. It's like, why not implement it?
No, that's fair. And also, another thing that comes into play is all the parachute payments and the financial incentive that you have when you get relegated. Because the Premier League right now, it makes it so easy for the teams that got relegated to come back up with all these parachute payments. But
what about, you think they would still, go through this deal if they stay in the Premier League? It's like,
yeah, I think ALK is basically trying to grow the football club. They realize how undervalued maybe the asset of Burnley FC was. They hopped on that deal. They saw everything and its potential, and they're just trying to grow it. Because if you look at that area, Manchester's pretty close, but there's a small area within the map that they can dominate all the little smaller towns around Burnley and have those supporters. Instead of those people supporting Man United or Liverpool, they'll support Burnley FC now. And maybe this is a way we can do that.
Well,
will they, fam?
If the club opens up and, gives them a lot more skin in the game in that sense and a lot more like collaboration, like that opportunity, then why wouldn't they? Unless they're
an interesting experiment.
Die-hard Man United or whatever, born and bred, but especially for like new fans, which are always new fans of the game. I feel like it's a good avenue. to kind of gain that.
I think people really underestimate the power of new fans. Like even Manchester City, that's essentially mostly new fans, especially the global presence of it. I'm not trying to throw hate on your team, Mr. Joel, but I'm telling you, like kids at my school, like when I was in high school growing up, kids didn't even watch soccer. The first team they really saw was Man City when they won the Premier League, the Aguero goal, the Balotelli assist, and then they all became City fans just from that. You know, so you really underestimate the fact that there's new fans coming into the game. So definitely can always happen and grow like that. I mean, what you got out? What's this guy pulling out over there, man?
Pull it out. I'll show you on the back who's on the back in a later episode. Don't even worry.
Please tell me that's Balotelli, bro.
Don't even worry about it.
I'll kiss you.
Don't spoil it. Anyway,
Faraz is probably so mad at me because I love all the Inter villains. Faraz hates them, I bet. But Balotelli, Zlatan, I love those guys.
I love Zlatan actually. I love what he did, especially under Mancini. Shout out.
All right, hell yeah. Okay.
Shout out Mancini. That's right.
Shout out Mancini. That's facts. Damn, that's the great connector. All right, last thoughts on this, or are you guys ready to talk some ball, bro? I've been dying to talk some ball today. Ball stuff.
Just to sum it up, it's just cool. Like I said, I say this at the end of every crypto talk story we have, but it's just cool to see the sports world integrating more and more with this technology. And the revolution is fucking spiraling, bro. Let's get it.
Oh yeah,
let's get it, baby. Let's get it.
This is just the beginning.
Yes, sir.
A little Travis Scott ad lib for the Houston guys. It's lit.
And honestly, just my final thought on this is what we're trying to do is going to even provide more, community build and more incentive on decision-making abilities than what these people are trying to do. Like, I really believe this is basically a form of a revenue generation rather than ingratiating your fans to make decisions. Because why would they want to do that? You're the chairman of Burnley FC. You have the full power now. Like,
exactly. They already have a system in place. And they're just trying to take a piece of it and include those security tokens. What we're doing is from the start actually integrating the whole system around this decentralized process.
Yeah, that's the whole benefit of a DAO, right? And the structure it brings you. But yeah, very cool story. Very cool.
Now let's get that ball stuff
ready?
in.
Are we ready?
I love it. I love that energy. That's our first story as well.
We make some funny little clips of the podcast after. There's a really funny one of ball stuff. Anyway, just check out our TikTok page. We're on every social media presence.
That's the segment name.
Plug.
No cap. That's the segment name.
It's got to be ball stuff from now.
That's the segment name. Going forward, that's it.
Anyway,
name. I hit it, baby. Let's go.
It's been a long week since we last talked. I would say there's been a lot of footy, a lot of games. A lot of Prem games, a lot of Serie A games. Bundesliga games. I'm gonna skip all that for now because there's only one league that matters right now, and it's the Champions. Anyway, sorry if I pierced your ears there with my high-pitched singing, but Champions League is back, baby. We've been waiting for it for months now. This gap between the group stages and the knockout stages always feels so long, but at least it's like Christmas time during it, so it's like you're not totally depressed. But anyway, there were some great games. Obviously, the main headline. I know you guys want to get into this Inter-Liverpool game later, but the main headline this week, without a doubt, was PSG versus Real Madrid. Been waiting since the draw. Since the draw for this. For those of you that don't know and we're living under a rock, Kylian Mbappe, the Ninja Turtle, scored in the 94th minute to put his team 1-0 up against Real Madrid in the Parc des Princes. They now are going to play in the Bernabeu in 3 weeks' time. Just a little note for those that don't know, there's no away goals rule anymore. So it changes the dynamic completely of this entire tie, of every tie going forward. It's going to be a really interesting season. Faraz, with the PSG kit on, hands around your neck, pensively thinking, how was the game for you? Major takeaways, what'd you think?
Oh, I really thought the game was going to be more tight than it was, but PSG fully dominated the game. They had so many chances to score, not to mention Kylian Mbappe all by himself drawing a beautiful little penalty, but the fraud misses it. Like
Pessi.
Fraud.
For those of you that don't know,
just a bad game. Don't call the GOAT a fraud, please.
Lionel Messi missed yet another penalty in this game, a really chance to kind of staple his dominance on Real Madrid, the Bernabeu team. He is now tied for joint most penalty misses in Champions League history.
Yeah.
How is it so easy for this man to nail a free kick from 40 yards out perfectly in the top left corner? But this man, this dusted man, can't even. I retract that statement. I love him so much. But how can he not even score a penalty?
Fam, we've seen him miss penalties before. Last time he ended up retiring and crying with Argentina. This guy's mentality is just not there. That's my biggest complaint about him ever. And listen, I love him. He's very talented, probably skill-wise one of the best I've seen play ball, talent-wise, right? But what's missing for me and what's always been missing, and if you watch him when his team is down, his head's always down. He's moping. He's not a strong leader. You don't look at him and you draw courage from his actions. You draw courage from the way that he plays, but not from how he speaks to you and not from his mannerisms. That's always been my biggest complaint with him. The game in general for me, it was underwhelming in a way, all right? Because one, I thought Real Madrid would be a bit more deadly than they were. And two, I saw a lot of guys dribbling with their saucy little moves. They were getting sexy on the pitch, but the end product just wasn't there. And especially for PSG, that's what was going on for most of the game. End product was nowhere to be found. Then all of a sudden, Mbappe pulls it off in the end. That's a big cojones play right there. That's anti-Messi. That's the boss mindset.
Yeah,
getting it done and taking the 3 point, not the 3 points, but taking the lead into the next draw.
There's so many storylines within this one game. We could really go on forever. I want to finish kind of the whole Messi point before we really move on to maybe praising Mbappe.
Let Ben speak on Messi. Ben's gonna cry.
Ben, I want to get your opinion on the whole Messi take because I know you're a diehard fan, as kind of I am. So what did you think of his performance overall? Disappointing.
I think I can't disagree with Arby in the fact that I think for the last 2 years, although in my opinion, obviously he's undeniably the GOAT, the records he's broken, everything he's done in the game, but it pisses me off when you just stand around and don't support your team. And I feel like he did that for the majority of the game. You can literally see him just standing, and he's gone to the point where, he thinks of himself as the star, which he is. But you see everybody else running and supporting the team. Like, come on, man. Like, put in your work. And that's what was disappointing to see, is that lack of effort. But my favorite player in the game was Verratti, unquestionably. I think he just showed how he can just completely dominate the game. Real Madrid couldn't touch him. The midfield trio, Real Madrid, that won 3 Champions League, was nowhere to be found around Verratti. It was incredible to see.
And he's been holding it down for PSG, man. And they've locked him. They've had him under lock and key. They will not let that man go. And that's kind of the interesting. But that's the interesting thing to see about PSG too. Like, their stars, they really lock them in there. Even Mbappe is having a tough time leaving right now, and he had his bags packed. He wanted to go. PSG just really locks these guys in there. Neymar, Mbappe, Verratti. If they consider you a star, Marquinhos especially, if they consider you a star, you're not leaving, bro. You're entering there. It's Hotel California. You ain't getting out.
Did you guys see recently? I think this whole game, this specific game in general, changed Mbappe's whole thought process on leaving PSG, or not even just joining Real Madrid specifically, in my opinion.
No, I disagree.
They're literally offering him now. I read this on social media, so who knows how true it is. They're literally going to offer him
true on social media.
1 million euros a week to stay. That's nuts.
They're not letting this guy go. They're not letting him go without a fight. And you've seen it with every star they've had. They do not let them go.
Listen, at the end of the day, I think we can all agree, PSG, shout out, you're awesome. You've grown so much in the past 15 years, but Real Madrid's the largest club in the world. And when you have a chance to go to the Rolls-Royce brand in world football, you take that opportunity. But one last point on Messi, though, what bothers me is his whole career, I would say he was coddled in that Barcelona atmosphere. He had great players around him other than the last 3-4 years, and he carried that team. But this was a true test for him coming to this team, and he's still surrounded by great players. And yet this whole season, he's been on a down. When you're that level, if you can't bring it with your game, like Arby said, you got to bring it with your mentality and leadership. And I think he's failed to do that. And that, I think I've had a change of heart on him.
I disagree.
It's hard.
I think if you've seen the games, he's literally hit the crossbar and post so many times.
I don't like that argument.
Those are goals. What do you mean? I mean, it's inches away from him having a good season.
He hasn't evolved.
It's Uber Eats League One, all right? It's Uber Eats League One. This guy's 3 goals. That was the biggest argument against him. The biggest argument against Messi was always, can he get it done in another league? And people thought that other league was going to be Premier League. It ended up being Uber Eats League One, which is objectively supposed to be easier than La Liga, and he's struggling. So I don't know what's going on with this guy.
Just a little note, hitting the crossbar is still technically a shot off target. Just want to say that. But I don't like that argument in general. Anyway, though, and I think it's kind of true. I think it's almost harder for him to perform in Ligue 1 right now because of the way these teams are playing against PSG specifically. They hit in such a low block. They allow so much space for PSG to hold the ball and stuff. For Messi, doesn't have the space to do what he can do usually, when a game is really free-flowing and pressing him and stuff, which is why it's disappointing that he didn't do well against this Real Madrid team, even though they kind of played in that defensive manner.
Absolutely. It was a 4-5-1 the whole time for Ancelotti. Like, they literally played for the draw.
I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in Ancelotti. Ancelotti, to me, is a Champions League specialist, and I do not think he put his best foot forward in this game. I don't think he
did you guys see
played with
Perez was like, there was a rumor Perez after the game was so ashamed he wants to hire Pochettino and sack Ancelotti.
That's
kind of BS to me.
That's nonsense. I think tactically he got it super wrong, isolating Carvajal so much on that right-hand side with Kylian Mbappe. Like, the guy was fighting for his fucking life, bro. Like, oh my God! Like, and you had the right-sided midfielder that was supposed to help him out and track back on the fastest man on the planet was Luka Modric, bro. Luka Modric is 36 years old. He's not going to track back and help Dani Carvajal, who's also pushing 33 or whatever. Like,
Dusty baller.
Should have started that game every day of the week to help out defensively with that because they knew what was coming to them, right? And so I think they really got that wrong.
Do you think playing Benzema was the right option, or should they rest him? Should they have rested him?
No, you have to play Benzema in that game, in my opinion. But I think, to Joel's point, a lot of teams, you see, they'll have this issue of they don't really know when to let go. Thank you, Luka Modric. You've done amazing things for this club. Thank you, Toni Kroos. You've done amazing things for this club. But it's time to usher in that new generation if you want to stay on top. We've seen this happen time and time again. You kind of don't know when to let go of that midfield trio. But I think Valverde is the type of player, for me, he's exceptional. He is the type of guy that you need to get him integrated. That's the future right there. And Luka Modric has done a lot. He's given a lot. And you guys should appreciate him at Real Madrid, of course. However, it's time to let the new guys step in, man. Give him a chance.
This season, those three, the OG three, have truly been great. Like, they're still balling. I think that he should rotate more, though.
At least in La Liga, they've been balling. But yeah, they need to rotate that. And I don't know. I think he should have just really seen that PSG lineup or that predicted lineup and really, just plan a little better defensively in that sense. Because they wanted to play so defensively that game anyway. They're trying to go back.
Is Kylian the greatest player in the world right now?
No.
That's the
question. Personally, I prefer Haaland. I think he's he can do everything Kylian does. He's not as good of a dribbler, of course, but everything else, I think he's up to par, and he's got a better finishing product. I think Mbappe's finishing isn't where it has to be.
For me, he is.
I think you have to put him ahead of Haaland right now, like without a doubt. In my opinion.
For sure.
I know Haaland is balling, which is all the his World Cup victory and all the.
Don't forget though,
already
look at who Haaland's supporting cast is and look at who Mbappe's supporting cast is.
Fair point.
So I think personally, I think Haaland on that PSG team would be better than Mbappe personally. I think he'd fit in better.
Anyway, I want to touch on one more thing about this this Champions League game. We never give a shout out to the goalies of the game. Donnarumma literally did nothing, but Thibaut Courtois, even though he conceded that goal, was a monster
game.
That game.
What a game, bro!
Belgian lad, bro. The way
Belgian brother, what a game!
The 6'6" man can get down so quickly when he blocked that first Mbappe shot. Like, how do you physically fall?
Incredible.
He played fantastically.
Incredible
maybe his best game since Belgium versus Brazil in the World Cup 2018.
And I'll add, I think Ancelotti is going to re-strategize for the next game. I think we're going to see a different Real Madrid next game. I don't think they're going to bow down, and this is far from over.
Think about how crucial this away goal rule being gone is. If the away goal rule was still in tandem, whatever, PSG would only need literally one goal in the Bernabeu, and it would be done. It would literally be done if they score one goal. But now, if they score even one, then they're only 2-0 down. Still can only need to score 2 goals to tie that back up. Like, this game is very much open. Like, Real Madrid.
I think it's going to be a much more open game. It's going to be a high-scoring game.
It's going to be cool.
Yes, she's going to destroy them on the counter. Mr. Kylian Mbappe is going to show the people that are going to be his employers you're going to have the greatest player in the world.
I just hope.
Show off.
We'll see. I think Ancelotti is going to re-strategize. I think it's going to be a different Real Madrid. I don't think you're going to see the same result.
I think Real Madrid
can pull up.
In the Bernabeu.
You think Real Madrid goes through?
I still think Real Madrid goes through, yeah.
I don't think so.
No,
and you can show us who you think is going to go through. Maybe not for this leg anymore because the voting has passed. But for future Champions League games, for next week's games, tell us who you think is going to go through and maybe earn a token for your troubles in the predictions tab in our Discord.
For the remaining Man United, Chelsea, so on and so forth.
That was the headline.
Get us to the next game. This is also the headline. This is also the headline.
Because of our team members, this is also a very headline game. No, and it was a classic in the making. At the San Siro, Internazionale versus Liverpool, a long-awaited game, finishing 2-0 for the Reds. I hate that I just did that, but I'm wearing the kit, so I had to represent, I guess.
No way, this guy's a fake City fan.
You guys we've been debating, you two specifically have been debating this game for days after it's happened. It's only been 2 days, but my phone will not stop buzzing from you two. So I'm going to give you each some time to speak your piece. Arby, you can go first. How did the game go? How did your beloved Inter do? Disappointed? Satisfied? What was the deal?
Listen, I think Faraz was watching alternative footage because we came out with two different opinions. But let me talk. So, game starts, all right? No Barella already. That's a big issue for me. I'm like, oh, come on. 2 legs out. Stupid red card. Stupid red card. Unbelievable. But, I still have this belief in me because I know that Inzaghi is such a great manager that he's going to take the game to Liverpool. He's not going to sit back. He is not going to sit back. So, game starts, and we are holding our own. Not only are we holding our own, as the game goes on, we start pressing more and more. Liverpool making all sorts of mistakes because our press is suffocating them. Even Lautaro is winning the ball in the final third. But listen, here's the problem, though. We've got a 35-year-old Dzeko up front. When you hit him on the counter, where's the pace? What are you going to do? Dumfries is quick and he's strong, but that's one guy. Perisic is quick, also older, technical, but his end product wasn't there. Lautaro is just on one these days. Nowhere to be found finishing-wise. Could have scored at least 2 to 3 goals. Atrocious. Couldn't make contact with the ball, and a clear header would have been through easily. And then Inter's just missing chance after chance. The build-up is perfect every single time. The press is dominant, absolutely dominant. We are suffocating Liverpool. People are saying Liverpool isn't looking good. Liverpool isn't looking good, not because they weren't playing well. It's because Inzaghi was outclassing Klopp in every single segment of the game. The Gegenpress turned into the Gluck 3000 press because Inzaghi was putting the work on this man. Jurgen Klopp was giving the sloppy toppy on the sideline. He probably asked Inzaghi for his autograph after. He said, "Oh, Mr. Inzaghi, how do you press so good, Daddy?" And anyway, Inzaghi was having none of it. He said, "Jurgen Klopp, you're done." All right. However, out of nowhere, a corner kick. All right. Of all people, freaking Bobby Firmino gets an accidental bounce off his head and the ball goes backwards. Handanovic, the dusted clown, can't put his fingers on the ball back of the net. And if you see that, Firmino wasn't even trying to put the ball where he put it. That ball literally bounced off the top of his head and it went in. The luck is unreal. The football gods weren't with us. And then Mohamed Salah doing what Mohamed Salah does best, and he ices the game.
That was
an unfair result. An unfair result.
A great recap of the whole game from an interest perspective. If you did not watch it at all, thank you for that, Arby. Faraz, your rebuttal.
My rebuttal is the Inter fans have had really low expectations of us coming into this game if they thought that was a good performance. I really thought that if we played our best, and they think we did, we would cause problems. And all of these chances you're talking about are non-existent other than one shot by Hakan Çalhanoğlu on the corner of the box.
Excellent pronunciation.
Thank you. Other than that, what did we do? And you're right, the forwards were absolutely dog shit. The midfield, I'll give you credit. They were the only people causing problems, and they did overpower the midfield trio of Liverpool at some points of the game, but they didn't have a good game. The defenders were flying around like a bunch of little birds, making last-ditch efforts to block different shots from different players. Mane shot, Salah shot, Firmino shot, Matip had a shot off a corner kick. Listen, Liverpool were at, if we're going on a car ratio, 5 gears, they were at gear 3. They did not.
Why do you keep saying they were at gear 3? I need you to elaborate on this. Were they at gear 3, or was Inter playing so good and not giving them chances that they thought that you think they're
my opinion as a Premier League watcher and as a watcher of all the leagues.
But what made them gear 3 for you? Because their starting lineup was pretty much intact. They had Elliott come in and that's it.
It's about how you play. Liverpool did not play their best. They weren't at a fast pace enough to beat Inter. And
do you know why they weren't at a fast pace? Because they were getting the living dog shit pressed out of them. Inter was winning the ball in their third at times.
What did we do other than 2 little switches from fullback to fullback? Dumfries was good. Other than that, it was nothing.
Let's keep it civilized.
We should have taken advantage.
No, it's civilized. It's all love. It's civilized. It's all love. But I need to know. One sec. This is a good conversation. This is a good conversation because I think Faraz's expectations were at a different place, clearly, and I think he wants to hold himself as if he had these giant high expectations. But in my opinion, I think we overperformed from the style of play and from the tactics. I think we overperformed expectations. The only thing we were missing was end product that day. There were 9 shots, all of them dog shit, but there were 9 shots, right? If you had a serious striker up there, we would have won that game. We would have quite simply won that game. That's what football is at the end of the day. You know, if Firmino's shot went in, it is what it is, right? that's what the game is. But I think tactically, I liked what I saw from Inter. And this is Inter that's not full throttle. You had Vidal starting, who was a fossil and balling on Liverpool's head, by the way. Literally balling on these guys. And then you had Hakan Çalhanoğlu, who, in my opinion, isn't usually a player that I count on a big game like this. And he still did a good job. So you saw these guys step up. I think it was a harsh result for Inter. I think even if you said, 1-0, I'd be like, okay, whatever. But I think that we deserve to win this game, in my opinion.
If I can give a kind of third-party view on this, because you guys are, obviously both Inter fans, but you have very differing opinions on how your teams performed, and it just shows your passion and love for the game. I think that when I'm agreeing with RB in a certain sense, I agree that Inter, at least for the majority of the beginning of the game, that they dominated Liverpool pressing-wise. Liverpool were not playing to their best for sure. That's also partly because they just weren't playing great, and that's partly because Inter were pressing the living crap out of them, like we were discussing. They had a lot of defensive. They were relying a lot on their defensive capabilities. Van Dijk had a hell of a game. Konate was putting in tackle after tackle. Trent cannot defend. He's the best right back in the world. Yeah, but he can't defend. It's actually incredible. Robertson did well.
Hakimi's better. Hakimi's a better right back.
I wouldn't go there. But anyway, then you had, Inter couldn't put that ball in the back of net, like you're saying, and a team with Liverpool's status and stature, they can just switch on at any second, capitalize on that moment, and that led to the second Salah goal. And now I think there's literally no way back for Inter, because to ask that team to go and score 2 goals without rebuttal at Anfield is impossible.
We're walking into Anfield, fam. As God is my witness. The unthinkable. 2 on Liverpool's head top, fam. It's far from over. I think the boys are going to feel energized after this.
You can obviously see that RB had voted for Inter to pass against Liverpool in the predictions channel in the Discord. Just plugging it again. Make sure that you go and vote for your predictions.
He was the one that thought we were going to go through and says, yeah, I'm happy with this performance. I was the one that was scared.
Anyway,
because it was a good performance, man. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I know Dzeko's shit. Like, what am I supposed to do? He's 35,
I also want to point out,
I'm not going to cry about it.
Speaking of Hakimi and then Dumfries, I think Dumfries is a great buy for you guys. I thought he played really well for you guys. A very like-for-like substitute on that. So why didn't Gosens play? Is he not in the squad yet?
He's injured. He's been injured for a long time.
He would have
he would have been immaculate. Would have been even better.
Even though I think Perisic played kind of well, but I mean,
Perisic is great. Perisic has been having an incredible season. He's been playing really well.
Yeah, I agree with you. I still don't think we should give him a contract renewal. He's an age. Is too.
We are. I think that we are. I think we're almost closing with both of them, and I'm fine with him staying. He might be aged. I think depending on the money you pay, it's fine. You need that sort of veteran status.
Anyway, Ben, you have any words in this game?
Did you watch, Benny? Did you watch?
I did. I watched that whole game.
Let us know.
But I don't want to be too controversial here.
Say it.
No, I honestly
summarize your point.
Yeah, I thought I was kind of surprised with Inter's performance, but I do think that Liverpool just didn't play as well as they usually do. Like, they usually dominate those games. I mean, every other Champions League game I've watched, they really dominated.
Bro, these guys barely beat Milan, bro.
With Inter, they didn't, and I don't think it was because of Inter's performance necessarily, but I do think that, again, if Çalhanoğlu scored that goal, the game would have been completely different. And Inter did have those chances from the start, so I was surprised by Inter's performance, honestly, and I think it could have been a much closer game.
Well, here's the thing: I wasn't surprised by Inter's performance at all. I wasn't surprised at all. I knew that this is what was going to happen. That's why I predicted Inter to go through. And again, if we had a striker, this is no fault of Inzaghi's. This result. If we had a striker, it's game. We would have won that game if we had Scamacca, anybody. So please sign a striker, Beppe. One last point. This is to Antonio Conte. I speak to you every episode. I'm going to speak to you again today. How are you enjoying the Conference League, fam? Inzaghi's got us in the round of 16. We're
not even in the Conference League. Spurs are out of that.
Your Inzaghi love.
Right. How are you enjoying sitting on your couch, fam? I don't even pay attention to the Conference League. Shout out Albania that we got the final for the Conference League. It's going to be lit. But
visit your love for Inzaghi when we capitulate and lose to Milan this year, the title.
Get out of here. You think Milan's going to win the Get out of here, bro. You're no ball if you think Pioli's going to win a title. This guy's done nothing his whole career.
There were more Champions League games to be played. I got to give a shout out because you guys talk so much about your beloved teams. I got to give a shout out to my beloved team that absolutely fucking thumped Sporting Lisbon in Portugal. 3 goals inside 20 minutes. Another 2. A Bernardo Silva hat trick. Did he actually have a hat trick?
No, 2.
Anyway. He did. No, because one
That's
was
a boring
Yeah.
game, bro.
Yeah, I thought you got ahead.
I had the PSG game on the main TV, and then I
Yeah.
was obviously watching the City game, just to feel close on my phone. But wow,
I hate games like that.
It gave me a lot of confidence going into this. But it's how I always feel round of 16 personally as a City fan, and then quarterfinals is where I start sweating. My ass off.
Until
So
you
we'll
draw
see how that goes.
Until you draw some mid team, and then Pep Guardiola inevitably crashes out to them, like Monaco, like Lyon.
Dude, all I'm saying, we went to the Champions League final last year, and that could easily be repeated this year.
Come on, Chelsea.
Anyway, other games in this round of the Champions League that we've seen so far was Bayern Munich failing to beat Salzburg, even though it was in Austria at home for Salzburg, but a great finish.
Come on, baby.
From the
That's
man
crazy.
assisted by Aronson.
Shout out US.
Adamu, his name. Shout out to the US there. Can we talk about this Bayern Munich formation real quickly?
I saw that. That was disrespectful. That formation was disrespectful.
He tried to play like this in the Bundesliga. They got thumped by Brochum, or however you say it, 4-2. Brochum 4-2, which we'll maybe touch on later if we have some time. But I don't know. I think he's really trying. He's got three wingers that he needs to make a decision and just pick two of them to play. Lewandowski was completely shut out in that game because he had no service. He played terrible, barely had the ball at his feet. They scrapped by with a Coleman goal last second, who was the only shining light in that game. I kind of felt sorry for Salzburg. They were defending really well and didn't get away with it in the end. And you have to think it's done and dusted for them because there's no way they're going to walk into the Allianz Arena and get a positive result.
Yeah, I mean, but I think that they can leave with their heads held high.
Yeah, very
much.
They
got a result that people didn't think they'd get. I think Bayern Munich should be embarrassed of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know that there's this iconic moment where Balotelli's facing an MLS team and he tries to score this crazy goal where he does like this trick and then Mancini stubs him out right then because that's the. But anyway, so what I'm saying by that is this was the coaching version of that. You thought that you could just walk in there, you could only throw 3 defenders in there, and you could just mash up wingers, whatever sort of attack and you thought you just dominate that game, you bully the smaller team, and that's not what ended up happening. You disrespected them, and you got your ass handed to you. That's a 1-1 draw. And of course, Bayern's probably still going to go through, but it goes to show you should really respect your opponent. Just because it's a smaller team doesn't mean you can start throwing circuses in there and you can get away with it.
Also had a lot of chances. They could have easily scored 2-3, especially with Neuer being out. Didn't have that defensive solidity specifically.
So my 3 takes on this game is, number 1, Neuer chose the worst time to get his surgery.
Yeah,
I think when he plays, the whole game is different. He truly is a revolutionary player. Schweinsteiger said a couple years ago, who's the best player you played with? He said Neuer.
When will he be back?
I think 6 weeks is his injury time. It's just one small surgery. I think when they don't play with Goretzka, he's also injured at the time. It's a huge loss for them. He really is their box-to-box midfielder. And third is a couple years ago, not a couple years, 5-6 years ago, Bayern Munich, I think, lost or drew with Benfica in the Champions League. And then this return leg, they thumped them 7-0. I really think they're going to do the same thing at the Allianz.
It wouldn't surprise me at all, and it would be kind of sad for Salzburg to go through that. But like I said, like Arby said, I feel like they can leave, at least for now, with their heads held high.
When you play with the wounded giraffe, Nicolas Sula, you're obviously going to concede goals. The guy is
Dortmund's newest player.
Dortmund's newest player, if you guys haven't heard, he's signing for them at the end of this season, or already signed for them pre-contract, but
we'll
join them.
I personally like him.
I like him too.
He gives me shades of Per Mertesacker. You guys remember that legend?
He's a wounded giraffe.
Dude, this guy Sula has 40 acceleration, but 85 sprint speed on FIFA or something.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I don't understand.
Yeah, who cares? It's not a race competition. It's a competition.
Just a little tidbit I thought was funny. Anyway, that
don't kill this guy's vibe, bro.
Sums up the Champions League action. It was a really monumental return. I was really excited. Dope games. We got some amazing games coming next week as well. I'm excited to see one of Man U or Atletico fail. I don't know who's going to win that game because both teams are right now.
Can we talk about the Maradona Derby today in the Europa League?
I was going to touch on that right now. So as you know, in the Europa League with an unfamiliar face now, FC Barcelona in the Europa League for the first time since 2004 or something. Just the game, airing a couple hours before we filmed this, tying 1-1. First thing that comes to mind is Ferran Torres had a stinker of a game, even though he scored that penalty.
Atrocious.
Faraz, what'd you think of the game overall?
I'm not gonna lie. If people look in the Discord, I've been really being harsh on Barcelona over the past couple of days.
Well, you also wrote that article about their demise.
Yeah, that was more of a fair article, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
But was it? I was kind of impressed with how well they played today. Napoli didn't really play well. Spalletti, ever since November, hasn't gotten this team to fire on all cylinders. And Barcelona wasted their chances. I think they had a lot of chances. Fernan Torres had a bunch of chances. Adama wasn't really, his end product wasn't there. And Aubameyang
never is.
Still looks like a bum. He still looks like a bum to me. But
I love Adama.
I think Napoli are going to take it home when they go home into Naples.
Yeah. Ben, what did you think of the game?
Yeah, I mean, Barcelona dominated that game. They created way more chances. But what I don't like, and I've seen this last few games that Barca play, is they try to play through the wings, but I don't think the wings are being supported enough. Like, Traore gets the ball on the wing, and yeah, he can do something. But everybody's just, I feel like, standing and watching him about to, try and go by the player and cross it. They're not supporting him enough. And I feel like in old Barcelona, yes, they played through the wings, but there was more support there. There was always people around moving, and I don't see that enough from
making those triangles.
Team. Yeah.
I think Adama is adjusting to life there really well so far, by the way. Like, I think he's putting great performances. Been absolutely incredible. Personally, for his awesome body type and his stature, I'd love to see him play in a more centralized role or play even a wing back. Like, that'd be fire for me. But like a box to box, he'd be a monster. If he could like defend, like, that'd be insane. But anyway, not to get off topic. I think Adama's a great addition to the team. I think Ferran Torres is exactly what I expected him to be. His end product is nowhere near where it has to be. And I don't think it made a lot of sense that Barcelona signed him. They splashed a lot of cash for him, and what they need right now is somebody that can put away goals. Aubameyang used to be that somebody once upon a lifetime ago. Will we see him return to that again? I don't know, but I think out of their entire market, it seems like Adama was the best buy, and he's really getting adjusted.
Eric Garcia, also a point on him, Joel, as a former defender, that guy, I think he's been awful.
Yeah, he has been awful.
Derby, he was directly at fault for both.
I remember when he was leaving, or like even when he was at City, I was like, he should get more playing time, because especially at the time, like before we signed Ruben Diaz, like I was not happy with our center back partnerships. That was always the talking point at City, was like our center backs could do better. And so like when he left to Barca, I was kind of like, wow, we're really just going to give up on this dude, like showing such promise, a young dude, like, and then he's gone to Barca, and it might be a bit about just whole Barca situation, but he's been terrible. And so I think we kind of dodged a bullet with him. I don't know. He hasn't impressed me in the slightest bit. And
I don't know how that kid made a name for himself, man.
This is his opportunity to really become the next like Piqué at that club, and he's just not starting well. I mean, he just does not that. He's not at that level. The best center
back is Ronald Araujo.
Yeah,
this season.
It says a lot. But anyway, I just want to know what you guys thought when you saw big boy Luc de Jong turn into prime Cristiano Ronaldo with that bicycle kick. God, if he had scored that, I don't even. They would have to give him. They would say, Ansu Fati, sorry, give us that number 10. We're giving it to Luc de Jong right now. That was crazy for all of you that didn't see that. That had gone in.
I hate that guy. He ruined my life.
Oh yeah, he scored. Oh, the Europa League final. Wow, I completely forgot about that.
Luc de Jong, note on him. Okay. He scored 5 goals, I think, and all of his goals have contributed to like 9 points for Barcelona. So without him, they'd be in like 10th position.
They have so many strikers now, and on paper he's got to be at the bottom, but then actually he has been the most important this season. After Depay has gotten
injured. Better than Brainweight.
Yeah.
How long is Depay injured for?
I don't even think he's injured anymore. I think him and Xavi don't meet eye to eye with certain things, which is really disappointing because he's such a good player, and so I don't know what the whole deal is.
You guys think Barcelona go through? I think Napoli.
I think.
That's tough. That's tough, man, because Spalletti, in a way, is a bit of a serial choker himself.
Yeah, he is.
I love Ossi. What a striker he is. He really needs to work on that end product, though, but he's such an immaculate talent. For me, he's like the heir to Eto'o almost. I think Napoli's really lucky to have him. If he gets that final ball, oh, man, that kid's going to be deadly. I rate him very, very highly. So I don't know. If Ossi's on top of his game when they go to the Diego Maradona Stadium, Barca's in trouble.
It'll be interesting to see. Anyway, that was midweek European competitions. Always exciting to have. It gives us a little break from all the responsibilities that we have. There were a lot of Premier League games also in the weekend, Serie A games, Bundesliga games, always league games. But I don't think we're going to touch on those because we're ranking up the time. But yeah, this has been a fun ball stuff segment, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you liked our little spats. And let's just close it out with some things to look forward to with Civitas. Little announcements. Ben, take it away.
Yeah, again, just look forward for the FIFA tournament. Go on that channel. Say what console you play on if you want to participate in the tournament. Stay tuned for some more blogs coming out. Just stay on top of our socials. We're going to be releasing some more content. What else do we have?
Listen, people, grab a PS5, fam. Like, don't be on the PS4 grind. Tired. And EA really needs to let crossplay happen, bro. Like, I'm getting tired of this.
That'd be cool.
Stay engaged in the Discord. Stay engaged. You never know what's there for you.
We did find out that you can play across generations on consoles, though. So that's good news.
I don't think that's true. Who told you this?
It is.
I'm pretty sure it is.
An article that says PS4 and 5 can play like fixtures. Maybe
Pro
clubs.
Pro clubs, you can play cross.
You
Then
can
why
or
would you
cannot?
be able to play
You can. So I'm
Pro
pretty
clubs.
sure. Yes, I know that for a fact.
Because I tried to play with my homies like literally a month ago. They're on PS4, I'm on PS5, and it didn't work. So that's what I'm saying.
Then maybe it's just for Xbox.
I have
don't
no
know
idea.
about PS5.
Anyway,
We'll figure that out,
obviously,
ladies and gentlemen. You guys don't
more
worry about
things
that
to
at home.
consider.
We'll let you know. We'll let you know. But it's been a great 6th episode. It was really fun. It was Riley. It was a wild debate. I enjoyed it. It was such a fun episode for me. This was a good time, man.
Always.
You know, sometimes when the guests aren't here, we can just kiss a little harder.
Speaking of guests,
oh my God.
Speaking of guests, we got anybody lined up? I don't think confirmed yet for next week, but
no promises. We got some heads out there. We got some professional players.
We got something cooking all the time. We got a really good network going on here. So just stay tuned for the 7th episode. It's going to be a good one.
Stay tuned to Antonio Conte defeating Man City on the weekend.
Stop crying.
That's just not going to happen. You want to bet?
Yeah, I'm just going to bet.
A late bet here.
Ben literally told me, Frod literally told me today, I can't bet anymore. I'm broke. So I don't know where you're coming up with all this.
You guys are a real bad example for all the kids watching at home. This is some real gambling and
personality. You said dog shit
I said about it
in 3 minutes on your rant. So
dog shit.
Ball stuff.
Ball stuff. All right, we're signing off, ladies and gentlemen. Great episode 6. We'll see you on number 7.
This is CIVITAS. Where will you be for the revolution?